Sandbags, they are a cruel mistress. They're big, they're awkward, they're hard to grab, and in 2 decades of competing, they are one of my worst events. So why do I love them so? They build size, they build strength, but it's in the context of skill and stamina, and it just allows you to do things that regular barbells can't. So for you meatheads that have been lagging on putting together a GPP day, there is not going to be a better supplement to your regular training than this, and I'm going to cover the best 12 exercises that are going to guarantee size and strength and that are going to carry over to the rest of your gym game. So let's go.
Do you like
free hoodies?
Yeah.
Barbell Apparel's giving away free hoodies.
How do you like them?
Free hoodies. Barbell Apparel's free hoodie sale is going on right now. Every $99 gets you a free hoodie, and it stacks. So go get some Broadly merch, get some comfy jeans, and knock out your holiday shopping while you're at it. This deal will end soon, so go now. The first one up is the main movement, the ground to shoulder. This is what you're going to be working towards. It encompasses just about every movement mechanic you can do with a sandbag that's worthwhile. And most of the movements here are in service of helping you get better at this. Now, if that doesn't seem very sexy, it's because heavy loading with a bag, it doesn't have a lot of versatility. The thing is, the threshold really matters. You're gonna see people snap sandbags up to their shoulder really quick, almost as if it levitates into the air, and that's a demonstration of strength. That's what people do when they're strong enough to do that. But most of the really developmentally effective reps you're going to do are going to be slow grinders. They're going to be like the hardest deadlifts you've ever done, and they're hard at every freaking inch of the movement. Off the ground, into the lap, to your chest, spinning it around, up on your shoulder, and you're just trying not to black out. So I'm not interested in versatility. If you can take the bag and grab it by the fabric, or if you can snatch it overhead with one hand, it's too damn light to do anything of value. You're best off thinking about this exercise like a clean and jerk. It's great for developing strength if you're focused on working in that threshold, racking up good, technically sound reps that involve a lot of effort with a substantial amount of weight. The lighter it gets, the faster it gets, the more reps you're doing, the more CrossFit-y it gets, and it's gonna take you in that direction. There's nothing wrong with that for general conditioning, but it's just not gonna get you a 400-pound bag to shoulder. Now, my preferred mechanic for people to practice, it's going to set you up for the biggest possible shoulders, is going to be grabbing with an over-under grip in your lap and then leaning back as you spin it across your face. This is how some of the craziest pound for pound and absolute weights have ever been managed. And this is the technique that you want to refine over and over and over with light bags. If shouldering a heavy bag seems impossible, just remember you have to get comfortable with the idea of leaning back, using your body as a staircase and hiking it up inch by inch. That is how you get the most weight to your shoulder. And that's what gives you that just crazy, like, supportive strength. This works the anterior chain. There really is like no other movement in the gym that strengthens this part of your body in this way. Exercise number 2, I played around with the name here. You can call them bag packers, ball fondlers, Jimmy rustlers, take your pick. I started doing this when I was qualifying for Worlds last year because one of the online qualifying events was taking a 260 bag and walking it 20 feet, dropping it and walking it back as many times as you could in a minute. And the guys were just putting up crazy numbers, like 8 reps was what you needed to be competitive. And I have never felt my biceps and forearms blow up like I did. It's the first time sandbags have ever taken my arms to failure. It was absolutely crazy. So I realized that every time you pick the bag, you gotta toss it back and forth to get a good grip on it to pack it in. So conditioning that was very helpful. This is something that's a really good warm up, or it's something that you can do for a lot of reps at the end. Don't do this first with any effort or you won't be able to do anything else. Number 3, bag picks. The most important part. If you can't get it off the ground, doesn't matter how good you are at the rest of the movement, and picking off the ground, it turns out sucks most of the time. So this will help get you flexible enough to get in a position, get the hamstring strength to keep your knees back while you pull it up over your knees, and it's going to turn your erectors into just pure gristle. However, I find the biggest value here is developing the crushing strength needed to pack the bag in, to keep a good hold on it and to be able to pull it up over your knee into your lap effectively and efficiently. When I'm doing bag picks, I just do a quick pop. I don't worry about getting real extension because I'm worried about the bottom end. Even doing these for reps, you will be absolutely astonished what the conditioning effect is. Thing number 4, reverse flips. Now, everybody's gonna do these by virtue of just having to get the bag out of storage. It's another really good warm-up, and it's something that works really well with the conditioning circuit. If you ever do like bodyweight shit like burpees or sled pushes, throw in 10 to 20 of these and watch your quads get cooked. This doesn't have quite as much carryover to anything else, but that's fine. There's only so many things you can do with a heavy bag, and this is one of them. Thing number 5, power rows. And just like I said, if you can snatch the bag overhead with one arm or do like a whole mud run with it on your shoulders, it's too light. That's not what we're talking about. If you can do nice, clean, strict rows with an arched back, not move in position, it's way too light to do anything. Just go to a barbell and target your lats. This is a supplement to bag picks. It helps you get better at getting heavy ass bags off the ground. And you're not gonna do that unless your back, biceps, and forearms absolutely transform. This is a step in that direction. So you wanna start by getting your grip set like you always will with the bag. Rustle it back and forth, pack your hands in tight, and make sure you're squeezing in just as much as you are pulling up. This hits the biceps and pecs along with the back because it's not just a pull, it's a squeeze and pull. You always want to be mindful of what the bag wants to do. The bag wants to sag in the middle. It wants to slip out of your hands like a soggy, oversized peanut. And it's your job to prevent that from happening. The harder you squeeze inward, the less likely that is to happen. Exercise number 6, box squat with the bag. This ends up feeling like some kind of twisted Zercher. It's like doing a Zercher, but you're doing like a dip and a bent row at the same time. Now, I'm not exactly in fighting shape right now. This bag's a little loose because I had to scoop some sand out for my weak ass. I really recommend, if possible, you do this with a bag that's more tightly packed because it's still difficult, still a little bit of a challenge to pin it in, but it will allow you to practice a better position by keeping it up. These loose bags just slip down like crazy, and you don't want to get in the habit of lifting bags where it's like all the way against your hips. You're not trying to do like a standing hip thrust. You want to practice maintaining tension with the upper body. That time under tension is huge for developing strength in your upper body. And you want to practice keeping distance with the bag from your legs. You don't want it up against your hips. Now, if you get better at this and you can push the weight a bit, you're going to be astonished at how many different pieces of your musculature this absolutely torches. And when you go back to full range bag loading movements, it's just going to fly right out of your lap. Number 7 is air loading. This is similar to the box squat, but this is less of a kind of isolated knee and hip extension movement. This is a whole body movement. You're gonna get your spine into this. You're gonna focus more on getting up on your toes. You want to practice rolling that bag up, getting your chest up to the sky, throwing your head back to clear as much distance as possible. So power is a bit more important here. Getting a quick pop and following through. That's how you get that bag really high. And that's how you're gonna toss around those hogs at last call at the bar. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know one of the best benefits of bag loading is it prepares you to just wrangle the local wildlife. But seriously, the actual adaptive mechanism here, if you're doing the box squats, that's gonna hit more from the bottom. You're gonna start with your hips lower. It's more of a squat, so that's where you're disadvantaged. This is gonna hit more of the top because you're gonna start with your hips a little bit higher, get more speed, and you're really trying to hammer your glutes through at the top to get that extension where you are the strongest and most powerful. And when you take these to limit, the burn in your ass is unlike anything you're possibly gonna feel in any other gym move. So guys, if you wanna hit the holy trifecta of gains, the size, the strength, and of course the clout, you need a program that checks the biggest boxes. Not only does it use the best time-tested movements that you are actually likely to stick to and improve on, but it includes a logical progression that is based on my most popular programs. These are programs that have gotten rave reviews from people that literally just ran the template. BaseStrengthAI uses 3 of the most proven templates pulled from the principles of some of the biggest, strongest men in history that have been used for over a century. The workouts are fun, intuitive, there's a logical progression, but it does take it up a notch because it personalizes the workouts to you. As you get bigger, stronger, more advanced, it becomes harder to tick those numbers forward, and you can't get by not adjusting your workouts to your own particular tolerances. Now, most people get an online coach to take care of that for them to the tune of $200 to $300 a month, and the rest of the people just never figure it out to begin with. So if you're wondering why you start every training cycle super excited only to get several weeks in, feel brittle, overtrained, tired, disillusioned, like you're just a dodgeball and the program is the side of a building, then you need direction that updates your training minute to minute, day to day, week to week based on your immediate feedback. BaseStrengthAI takes the guesswork out of training, and it does what only an online coach can do, which is personalize the program to you at 1/10 of the cost. Yes, 1/10 of the cost. So jump on the heart and soul of old school training. It's my programming, but it is your program and you cannot get that anywhere else. Hit up basestrength.com today to get started on your gains. So those mechanics take us into number 8, loading over bar or to a platform. Now you're gonna see me use some different implements here. They're all interchangeable. The mechanic of getting it into your lap, extending and putting it where you want is what's important. It doesn't matter what implement you use so much. I like sandbags because they're economical, they're easy to get a hold of, you can drop them anywhere, and the fact that they're kind of soft requires a bit more from every part of you, so I think of it as like lifting without a belt. But the reason you want to have some work to a set height is because when you think you're getting it high enough, when you think you just got it to the moon, oftentimes you really don't, and that's where having a set height comes in, because it tells you right away whether or not you pass the test. If any of you guys have a heavy bag and you're in your garage doing air loads, getting it as high as you can, I'm telling you, you're not going to get it as high. You're not going to squeeze as hard or fight for as long as when there is an actual bar that you have to get it over. So I think this is great for people to advance to. And number 9 is a little more obscure. This is a bag press. Now, I'm not gonna lie to anybody and tell them that this is how you're gonna get monster pecs and triceps. Pressing a heavy bag is usually a byproduct of a strong presser who got good with a bag. However, getting good at a bag means being able to support the awkward position, which we see in all kinds of strongman events, and it's going to help you with all that. Whether it's laying back with the log, which many of the biggest pressers do now in order to move the most weight. I've had to press many a block and rock where the mechanics of leaning back are very similar. And like I said, leaning back, you just don't do that in the gym with anything, and it will humble you quickly. That entire anterior chain gets taxed heavily and it's hard to breathe. You feel like you're gonna pass out. It is a skill and a different type of strength in its own right. And when you get some momentum, you start to think you're the strong guy, you're walking around with your chest puffed out. It's also good to just have something every now and then that humbles you, that reminds you that yes, indeed, there are things you suck at. Here's me after a couple of decades of strongman. I know my way around a bag. I've pressed a 400-pound log. What's this little 280 bag gonna do? This should be mincemeat to me. And of course, this is one of my biggest crash outs. I think I clocked something like 30 failed reps with this, and tragically finished the workout with no reps. The best piece of advice I could give you off my failure is to don't do what I do and go straight to a heavy bag. Everybody has those workouts where you're just failing rep after rep after rep, and as fun as it is to have a challenge weight, it's not the best way to get strong. If anything, it'll give you a complex and teach you bad mechanics. My biggest problem here is that I wasn't leaning back far enough because I was really tight, really bound up, dealing with some injuries too. I should have had something like a 180 bag to get comfortable with, and then like a 220 or 230, and then try this. But I was going straight for gold. It didn't pay off. Thing number 10, now we're clocking carries. You got the bag in a position. What are you gonna do with it? You're gonna move your feet. You're gonna hustle. Doing a long walk. I consider a long walk anything on the order of 100 feet or more. Walks to failure can go to 200 or 300 feet, and you will be amazed at your capacity to improve this weekly if you're not a weenie and you actually push it. At first, it's gonna feel like you're suffocating, and that's okay. It takes about 30 seconds to do a worthwhile long carry. You can hold your breath for 30 seconds. You'll worry about oxygen when it's all over. But seriously, to avoid passing out, just make sure you're taking quick, short breaths. Over time, you get adapted to it. But the time under tension, having to coordinate walking, which you don't realize how complex it is until you have to coordinate it with 350 pounds in front of you, it lights your hammies up like nothing you believe. That's what your posterior chain does. It keeps you upright. So when you load it from the front, hammies, glutes, erectors, upper back will have to work harder. Upper back's getting hit from 2 angles. It's getting spit roasted here because it's crucial in pulling back to keep the bag locked in place and in stabilizing your torso while you walk. There's just so much value here. If there was one just GPP exercise I could get guys that like power lift to do that isn't on a barbell, it would be this. For the conditioning, for the direct work, the hypertrophy potential for areas that need it without compounding stress by just beating down with more pig weight, long carries are absolutely money. Now there's plenty of value in doing it with kegs or Husfeld stones, or even doing it with a long bag if you can pick it upright. However, I would say there's a little bit of cheatering going on. The best developmental way to do it, that's also the most versatile in contest, is to pick it lengthwise and again, practice hugging it to your chest like that. You're not gonna be lifting as much weight, you're not gonna be going as far, but the stimulus is going to be better. Thing number 11, long carries on the shoulder. Now we talked about ground to shoulder as being the default movement, but one of the benefits of being able to get it on your shoulder efficiently is that you can carry bags much, much faster. So if you're getting ready for a contest, this is the quickest way to move a bag, provided it's light enough you can pull it off quick and you're efficient. Aside from that, this is a fantastic midsection developer. You're never gonna do a stupid wader carry again after this. You're doing 200, 250 pounds on your shoulders, walking back and forth. Your obliques are gonna get absolutely lit up. This is extraordinarily useful as an exercise, but it does require you having enough skill to be able to clock these runs. These I don't recommend doing challenge reps on. Start light enough that you can effectively get it in position and then start clocking some distance, move your feet. Now I've come to love bag relays, and you can do them with any implement, but bags are especially a pain in the ass. I used to suck at relays, but I love them because I found out how much I could get ahead by drilling them, because so many people sleep on them. And this really tells you if your training has paid off, because you have to do it fast. You have to pick, lap, extend quickly. It shows who has an ounce of athletic ability in their toolbox. And this is really great GPP work. This type of stuff isn't going to be the main driving force of strength or size that you might get from heavy bag work, but it is fantastic conditioning work. So that's it. Those are my 12 favorite bag movements, heavy bag exercises to make you better at picking and shouldering bags, which makes you a bigger, stronger, more useful human being. Let me know what you think. Leave your questions in the comments below. We got another weekly Q&A coming up. So let me know what questions you got for me. Ask away anything that's on your mind. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, this is Bromley. I'll see you.